I don't know how to start this off. Okay, so, hey y'all, my name is Marky. This is Zach. Well, his real name is Elijah, but we call him Zach. He is 16 years old, and this is what we're going through right now. So, we are currently at Texas Children's Hospital. And we were actually life flighted here on the 29th because of Zach. Oh yes, of December. So we've been here for more than a month, obviously. And we wanted to go ahead and start filming and doing kind of like a diary of what it is like when you're sitting in the ICU waiting for a new heart.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So a little bit of background. You want to give them background? For you and how we got to this point, or do you want me to?
I don't mind. Help me.
All right, so this is what it's like working with Zach on a daily. So
yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so Zach had hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a thickening of the heart muscle. So for people who say, oh, that means that your heart was too big, it wasn't too big, it was too thick. And he inherited this disease.
Like 2 C's.
He inherited this from his father, and his older brother has it as well. So unfortunately, it's in the family, and it's very, very malignant. The gene they have, in other words, it's very aggressive. So for most people, they can live with HCM well into their 70s with just a few lifestyle restrictions and some medication. But that is not how it has gone for us. Zach was diagnosed when he was 4. Yeah, that's a heart transplant scar there. Yep, he's showing off his scars. Zach was diagnosed when he was 4. Quest, his older brother, was diagnosed when he was 9. And sadly, his father passed away when he was 40. So, anyway, when Zach was 10, he received his first heart transplant. That was August 31st, 2014, here at Texas Children's. We stuck around here until 2018 when we decided to go back to El Paso because he was stable. Until December 29th, when he called me up and told me that he was not feeling very well. And his heart was kind of thumping and doing some crazy stuff. I thought he had a cold or COVID, which would have been terrible. And he was joking around and said, what if it is rejection, which we had never had. We even stopped by Whataburger on the way to the hospital because we didn't think it was that big of a deal. Once we got there, though, it was pretty apparent that there was something going on because his heart kept going into PVCs, which are palpitations or preventricular contractions. Yes. And those are things he had never had before. At one point when they put us in the ICU, he went into what they thought was VTAC for like 2 hours. Anyway, they wound up calling Texas Children's, who flew their jet with a doctor over to come and get us. Yes. We called them, we were like, we need to get to Houston. So they came and got us, flew us over on a jet, brought us here. And when he got here, he was not in VTAC. He was in a flutter, which is coming from the top of the heart instead of the bottom.
Because it's so much better.
Yeah. Actually, a flutter is a better scenario than VTAC, for those of you who don't know. But either way, it kind of blows. So anyway, they took him into biopsy the next day, and when it comes to heart rejection, there's there's 0 for 0 rejection. There's a 1R, 2R, and 3R. 3R obviously being the most severe. There's also 2 different types of rejection.
Antibody and cellular.
Yes, antibody and cellular. Antibody means that his body has created antibodies to fight the graft. Cellular.
Which is harder to get rid of.
It is harder to get rid of. And cellular being that it's, the cells are inflamed and attacking the heart. So it turns out that Zach was in both. So his go big or go home. So he was in a 2R cellular and then a 2, I think it's still considered 2R for the antibody-mediated. Anyway, it was really bad. Then they also told us, and at the time we didn't really know what it meant, but that he was in, I'm going to butcher this.
Eosinophilic?
Yes. eosinophilic infiltration. So eosinophils are rarely
Present in the body.
anymore because we don't really need them, but apparently they're particularly nasty.
Yep, they were used back with like cavemen to protect you from like E. coli and like bacterias and stuff.
Parasites, fungus, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things we don't really have a lot of
We don't
anymore.
have to worry about that anymore because we have purified water.
But his
Or so we thought.
rejection was so severe that his body activated the eosinophils, which then attached to his heart and damaged the heart muscle. And unfortunately, rejection is reversible, which we were able to get him out of, but the damage from the eosinophils was not reversible. So,
No hard time.
yay! So they let us go on January 11th because he was doing so well. By January 15th, we came back. He was in cardiogenic shock, which means his heart was not pumping enough blood through his body. It means the oxygen wasn't getting to the brain. His kidneys were shutting down. We were pretty sick. And they took him back to put a pump into his heart.
Impella 4.4.
5.5.
5.5.
5.5. The Impella heart pump they put in so that his heart could take a breather, basically, and pump using the pump to push the blood through his body.
It liked to make me go into VTAC.
It did. It
It
did.
also liked to make me my heart go thump.
Yeah. He every time it would bump it, his heart
Because what the Impella does, it goes into the
ventricle.
ventricle. Yeah.
The left
And
ventricle.
it's a little machine thing. And it's just a fan that blows the blood through
Like
it.
a propeller.
Yeah, instead of it backing up, going down into the lungs or into the rest of the body, it pumps correctly and goes up like it should. But if I cough, that thing is gonna move because it's not stitched in there, it's not stapled in there. It's just sitting there, so if I cough, my body's gonna cough, my body's gonna move, my heart's gonna move, and it's gonna go, oh, and it's gonna touch the sides of my ventricle, thus throwing me into a VTAC for 45 seconds.
He actually coded twice.
Never stopped breathing, or my heart never stopped.
No, but they did have to call Code Blue to get him out of VTAC.
A technical code, yeah.
So he coded twice the night that we had the Impella put in. He was on a ventilator for 8 days because it was trying to help his heart rest, and he had the Impella in for 13 days. Yeah, for 13 days. So now we are Impella and vent free, as you can see. However, we are literally sitting here at Texas Children's. We were listed on Friday the 5th. Friday the 5th, February 5th. We were listed as a 1B status for a heart.
Second highest priority.
And so he needs a heart. We're not able to wean him off medicine. The pumps that you see back here are basically going to be here until he has a heart transplant. And that was milk. And so he is, he's gonna turn 17 on Friday. So, and he's a big kid, 6 foot. So we got listed on the adult side.
6'1".
Okay, 6'1". So we got listed on the adult side too. So we have the adult pool as well as a pediatric pool. He's an O positive, which is a little harder to match. But,
So just
well, did it the first time. So we're just kind of basically hanging out. So this is day, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So this is day 4. We are day 4.
day 4 hour.
Day 4. We don't know the hour because we don't know exactly when they listed us.
Oh.
Yeah, that's too specific. Day 4, waiting for
Even
a
after
heart.
Day 19.
He seems to think that we're gonna go all the way to May. I don't think we're gonna go that long. But this is what our life is like right now. We can't leave the hospital. He has to sleep with a breathing machine.
I had to do that beforehand though.
Yeah, a BiPAP because he likes to stop breathing at night.
I have sleep apnea.
Yeah, he does. And
It likes to make me drool all over my beautiful piece. That's not patchy at all for no particular reason.
yeah, we had a really cool nurse
That I will not name.
who shaved his half of his beard. So yes, he's Patchy the pirate from SpongeBob.
Arg.
And the BiPAP is Pappy. We call him
I
Pappy.
did. I don't call him
Pappy.
No.
We said we put on Pappy.
Time out.
Yes,
I do not call him these things.
I do.
I do not call it these things. That is not a gender.
Oh, you want to tell him about how you were hallucinating? Okay, so
You got.
were you still in the vent?
Yes.
So he had the breathing. No, you weren't. They had just.
For a lot of it, I was.
For some of it,
For
I don't
the
know.
big stuff,
So
I was.
he was okay. So they had him. They gave him Ativan. Now he was on fentanyl, which for all you crackheads. Anyway, fentanyl being like a super strong, right? And he was also
Is that
on
10 times or 100 times?
Prevacid. I don't know.
Prevacid is a heartburn medication.
No, there's one.
I'm on
Presicor. Anyway, he was on a sedation medicine too. So something happened. His stomach started to hurt. They were doing plasmapheresis, which is where they take the plasma out and actually run it through a machine and give him new plasma, donated plasma, because they were trying to wipe the antibodies and the eosinophils and everything out of his blood. So anyway, they gave him Ativan because they can't give him Zofran because that can mess with his QT. And right now Zach has a longer QT. So
Because I'm such a cutie.
okay. So anyway, so they were giving him Ativan to try to stop him from throwing up, and the Ativan made him crazy. Yeah. You want to tell him what you saw?
Don't do LSD ever.
It was.
If you do it with a friend.
It was all night long, and he was.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm
He
just
had
saying.
ants on the walls. He saw dogs and cats in windows. He saw a 3-foot elf on the shelf, and it scared him so bad that he made me close the curtain in front of the window.
The most vivid thing I remember, though, there was a dead wool in my bed that was 2 feet away from me, and I looked this way, and they'd be making the grudge noises. That was lovely. Don't do LSD. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't know I was making bird
They had like a
noises.
cold hand, and I could touch it, and like it was fleshy. It was really bizarre. I was probably just touching the air, and the nurse was like,
Yeah, you should see him. His pupils were real big, and he he told me that he saw Pennywise, and then he thought that he had a sticker on his chest that said Team Zach, and they had put 2 exclamation marks on it, but it was kind of covered by other tape. So when he was looking in my phone trying to take a picture of himself, or no, he was looking in the TV, and he saw the reflection of it. He thought it said It, and of course because he had seen It, kind of freaked him out a little. He said that he could touch my words at one point.
I also, for about a week afterwards, just heard random music I've never heard
Oh,
before.
you mean like, yeah, he told me he heard Indian music. I said, he heard Indian music. I said, have you ever heard Indian music before? And he said, no. I said, how do you know that it's Indian music then? He just said he just knew. He heard a marching band. He heard people laughing. Yeah. He'd wake up very confused. We had a little bit of ICU delirium going on too, I think. And so all that thankfully is better now. He's doing much better, obviously. But yeah, this was like a week and a half ago, give or take. So it's been a roller coaster ever since he got really sick on the 15th. We were doing this, and then we kind of started doing that, and
then doing this.
and now and doing this and this and this. And now we really need a heart, because he'll feel so much better once he gets a heart.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. Look at his wonky tooth. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So we're planning on doing this every day.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna chronicle our days here.
Okay, so it's February 8th, 2021.
And day 4 on the transplant list as a 1B, status 1B at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, Texas. So, all right. I think that wraps up why we're here, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Stay safe. Don't do LSD, but if you do it with a friend.
Oh my God, don't listen to him. All right, bye y'all.